A2 road have become a major cause of road accidents. And in sport, Botswana Cricket Association holds trials to select a team for the Under-19 World Cup qualifiers. Welcome and thank you for joining us. Now, in our first story, Gaborone High Court Justice Barnabas Nyamazabo has dismissed with cause the former President Cyril Khama Ian Khama's application that charges laid against him that include illegal possession of firearms be set aside. Unkutlile Tamahe and Wabetu Mpulubusi with the report.
On and about the 19th of October 2021, the High Court granted a search warrant to law enforcement officers to search the former President Cyril Khama Ian Khama after the investigation team discovered that him and the former Director General of the DIS, Colonel Isaac Khosi, were in illegal possession of firearms and ammunition. Upon the search warrant being granted, law enforcement officers discovered that warrants did not cover Khama's official residence, popularly known as State House 4. Law enforcement agencies gave Khama notice to voluntarily submit the arms and ammunition in his custody by November 8, 2021. Regrettably, on the said date, without notifying the investigation team or surrendering the arms and ammunition, the former president left the country for South Africa, where he remains to date. Former President Khama was seeking the court to set aside all charges laid against him, citing that there is no evidence to support the allegations made in his charges. The prosecution hinted that the application was premature and that the applicant is a fugitive, running from justice and lacks the right to institute the application before the court or any other court in Botswana. The court upheld that the former president is a fugitive from justice who was aware of charges against him and has not made himself available to be served with court papers and appear in magistrate courts to answer for those charges. Justice Nyamazabo dismissed Khama's application with cause. Meanwhile, the second respondent, Colonel Isaac Khosi, was ordered to pay costs if he abandoned the application at the rate quarter of those paid by the first applicant. Unkutlile Tamahe, BTV News, Gaborone.
Botswana Council of Churches has revealed their desire to create a budget tracking committee amongst its members to help ensure implementation of budgetary measures is done properly. The council shared this at their national budget speech review session yesterday in Gaborone, emphasizing that reviewing the budget is in line with their role of stewards of society. In addition, they praised the 2024-25 budget proposal, saying it has the capability to transform the country. Ki Olopile Mabina and Solofelo Tompale compared this one.
The Botswana Council of Churches has for many years reviewed the national budgets delivered by the Ministers of Finance, but has decried poor implementation of some of the initiatives prioritized in those budgets, including infrastructure development. However, it was proposed at the Council's recent National Budget Speech Review that a budget tracking committee made up of church leaders could help improve implementation.
We must also acknowledge and admit that participation over the years has been limited to budget speech analysis after its presentation by the Minister of Finance. But funds permitting, we desire to be more proactive through a budget tracking and policy review process. Because in that way, then we'll be able to actively participate in the processes that build, that work towards the, the development of the national budget.
Citizen Entrepreneurial Development Agency, which was represented at the review, shared the programs they lead that align with the budget priorities.
Agricultural development, 2.82 billion has been set aside for agricultural development. And Rona, what do we do? We've been given the leeway to do what we call the horticultural market. Horticultural market, Rona see that. Government has set aside money for us to do a market. Because why? No really money. Right. Melo lazy rule. Eh, lo lazy rule ya lo le pula hali na lo la he. Eh, lo na lo la he lo batho ba sele. Why? Because the market is disjointed. The market is fragmented.
Development managers and others should ensure that some of the smaller projects that would be hired of the smaller contractors should be labor intensive to ensure that the local economy benefits by money going into the local economy. And we should go back to a model where at least 30% of procurement must benefit the local companies and local organizations.
The Council emphasized that reviewing the budget is in line with their role as stewards of the society, and they would continue to contribute to the country's socio-economic development as they had done throughout the nation's history. Tsholofelo Tombali, BTV News, Gaborone.
Government has committed 95 million pula towards the construction of roads in Madinare, Robelela and Damchojana. The Minister of Transport and Public Works, Mr. Eric Malale, revealed this when introducing the construction company Ocean Cable Pty Ltd, who have been awarded the tender as they signed the contract at Madinare Khotla in full view of the community as witnesses. Karabo Mulusi reports.
It was conducted in the Khotla to exercise transparency and foster buy-in of the community through consultation, accurate information dissemination, and instilling spirit of ownership and accountability by all involved stakeholders to ensure diligence on project execution on budget and set time frames.
O tlo go saenela kontraka ha pele ga ba Madinare o ba shupentsha gore khotla e ha kae ha bana le mathata pele ga mathata a itla go go wena a re le bagane seng a re hitile khotla e teng
re dira jalo ka mabaka le mantsi e bile re ithutile sengwe ha ntse re tla re dira ditiro tsa ditlhabolo re tshwantse ra lo le motsha gore bora kontraka ba tla mo motsing batla ba tshotse madi a puso go lo direla ditlhabololo ga se madi a bona ba ba hirile ya no gona le tsamaiso ya ka ha madi a puso a tshwarang ka teng le a dirisiwang ka teng mo setšhabeng setšhaba se tshwanetse go nna le boikarabelo ya go bona gore madi ao a dirisiwa ka go tshwanetseng ka teng
re gorogile re Ocean Cables re utule tiro e simologa mo kgoteng Economic Inclusion Act total rona hela gare kopa tiro mo governmente ke dingwe tse re di kanneng ka tsona ra itse ha le mo Damchojana re hira mo Damchojana ha le mo Damchojana re rola mo Damchojana Robelela hela jalo Madinare hela jalo ke le go gore tota hela.
The scope of work encompasses resealing of the 14 kilometers access road to Madinare from the Silibe-Pikwe Serule main road, resealing of the 9 kilometers road heading to Damchojana, also branching from the Silibe-Pikwe Serule main road, as well as the 43 kilometers Madinare-Robelela tarred road.
Na ke na le tlhabollo tse di diragalang gompieno di le 27 go simola ka sa CCP go aga dikgota go simola ka go aga police stations go ditsela internal roads na ke le mo parlamente ke le mole I'm happy I'm ticking the boxes. Madinare is going to turn into a construction site. It's a given.
The roads construction projects in Madinare, Robelela and Damchojana are some of the many infrastructure projects that government is undertaking across the country, delivering on the promise of human development and economic transformation. Karabo Mulusi, BTV News, Madinare.
You're watching BTV News. Thank you for staying with us. Now, cattle roaming along the A2 road is said to be a major cause of road accidents. This was revealed by the chairperson of the Khanzi Road Safety Committee, Ms. Leah Mundia, who also stressed that the issue calls for concerted efforts among stakeholders. Ms. Mundia further pleaded with stakeholders to keep the road free from accidents, especially since it is busy highway. Angela Nosa with more.
The A2 road, located along the Trans-Kalahari Corridor, is a very important road linking Botswana, South Africa and Namibia, and is ideal for boosting the economy of the three countries. However, on the Botswana side, livestock roaming the road, especially at night, is said to be a concern.
go botlhokwa tota gone gore ha motho a le ko Namibia a le ko South Africa a tsamaya ba balesegile le mo gone go tla mo Botswana go tshwanetse gore le ena ha a tla heta mo Botswana a ba heta mo tseleng e leng gore e ba balesegile. Puisano tsa rona le difamara ba supile ha bana le keletso ya gore tsela e ka tsengwa terata mme ba re lemotsha gore gone tsela e le ha ne ba kile ba ira maiteko a gore ba ka tsenya terata kgang ya nna gore go na le maphata mangwe a supa gore go ka se ke go kgonagale ka gore go na le motsamao wa diphologolo yaanong rona re le ba ipabalelo tseleng ke gone gore gongwe re tle re bue le our stakeholders gore re kgone go bona gore a mme ga gona tsela e leng gore gongwe re ka bona gore tsela e ka babalesega kana ha le gore ke yone kgang ya terata re tle re ikgate motlhala re bone gore a mme maphata a maleba ba ka seke ba re thusa ra bona gore bothata jwa gore tsela e keng e ka seke tsengwe terata.
Farmers whose cattle get hit by vehicles face a hefty fine of 2,000 bulam if found guilty.
Di a thulwa ke dikgomo tsone re ka dikotsi tsone ra di attend yaanong mme re kile ra tsa matsapa ra tsamaya go bone ra bua le bone ba disa le banga dikgomo gore ba tlhokomele dikgomo ba le go somarela dikgomo tsa bone ka gore ke botshelo jwa bone ba itshetsa ka tsone ra ba rotloetsa gore a go se ka gatla go nna dikotsi tse di kalo mo tseleng mme se re buile le bone ka sone re kopa ile kgakololo ne ile gore ka re itemogetse gore ba di bulela maitseboa e be go ra gore di thula thata masigo ne re kopile gore gongwe ba ka dira ile clustera gore gongwe ba di ntshe mo ditseleng ba tsame ba dintsha ka rona re le ba sepodisi ra di ntsha tsone.
Cattle farmers are encouraged to be diligent and ensure they are aware of their cattle's movement at all times.
Mene re ka ba kopa gore ba di tlhokomele kana ha go kgonega le bone ba di tswalle di ska tsa bolotswa bosigo ka gore bosigo tota ga bogolo borai kgomo le one ya bo e sa bonale tse dingwe di dintsho yaanong mme ba ba kgwetsang dikoloi bone ga se mo re ka e bang gore le bone ba tshwanetse gore ba thule dikgomo tseo ka gore di mo tseleng koloi ha o e kgwetsa re dumela gore ka nako tsotlhe wa bo bona o le motho o tshwanetse a tsamaya ka lebelo le le lekanetse le leng gore e ka re kgomo wa go e bona o bo o ka e skwa ithula le matshwao mo tseleng ya rona a teng a supang gore tlhokomela ela tlhoko go na le dikgomo bogolo jang ka gore gone ha le ke mahudiso a bone.
Meanwhile, government vehicles are also under scrutiny.
Mme ka dikotsi tse e leng gore di a diragala di ama dikoloi tsa goromente mo gore supetsa gore le tsone re di beele itho gore a mme a they roadworthy yaanong maikalelo a gompieno ke gone gore re lebagane le dikoloi tsa goromente gore a mme le tsone ha di tsamayana di pegile ba direla puso di pegile dithuto tsa goromente a mme di babalesegile a they roadworthy gore di ka tsamaya mo tseleng le gone hela re itemogetse gore se sengwe se se amang ke gone gore dikoloi tsa goromente o ka ithela le gore di a amega mo borukuting tse dingwe re setse re lemogile gore ke dikoloi tse e leng gore ga di na di-number plate tse dingwe ke dikoloi tse e leng gore motsamao wa tsone ga se o letlelesegileng di-logbook di sa saeniwe.
As farmers request that a fence be built along the Kangansi road to solve this problem, consultations are ongoing which will advise on whether or not this is possible in future. Angela Nosa, BTV News, Ganzi.
Ms. Veronica Kopolelo, who is an accused person in case involving the rape of a child by a 59-year-old man, has been issued with 3 charges of child neglect and ill treatment of children. Her charge sheet detailed her failure to provide food, clothing and healthcare in addition to leaving her child in the care of another person without showing any further interest in the child as reasons behind the charges she is facing. Ms. Kopolelo pleaded guilty to all charges she is facing. Unkutule Tamari reports.
The 32-year-old accused person, Veronica Kopolelo, is charged with 3 counts of child neglect and ill treatment. According to the charge sheet, in count 1, the accused, in July 2020 at extension 16, Brodest Gaborone, failed to provide adequate food and clothing for her child, failed to provide the child with health care, and left the child in the care of another person without showing any further interest in the child. The charge sheet continues to state that in count 2, the accused person, Veronica Kopolelo, in October 2020, at extension 16, Brodest Gaborone, failed to provide adequate food and clothing for her child and has also failed to provide the child with health care and has further left the child in the care of another person without showing any further interest in the child. Contrary to section 56, subsection 2, A, B, and C of the Children's Act, Cap 2804 of Laws of Botswana. Count 3 state that the accused person, Veronica Kgopolelo, in June 2021 at Extension 16, Broadwest Gaborone, failed to provide adequate food and clothing for her child and has also failed to provide the child with health care and has further left the child in the care of another person without showing any further interest in the child. The prosecution team told the court that they have concluded in-depth investigations in the offenses Veronica Kgopolelo is charged with. The accused, on the other hand, told the magistrate Unkarabile Mukone that she pleads guilty to all the charges leveled against her. Magistrate Mukone ordered that the accused person be further remanded in custody and come to court on the 4th of March 2024. Unkutle Tamare, BTV News, Gaborone.
Mattis Bay College in Francistown last week celebrated its 60th anniversary. According to the school, many of its alumni holding leading positions in different portfolios across various sectors of society. Speaking at the anniversary, one of its alumni and now a board member of Engine Botswana, Mr. Leonard Bakwinja, shared that Mattis Bay College, a Catholic government-aided school, is known for its high academic performance, something that contributes towards building the image of the city of Francistown. Faith Ditete reports.
The Mother of Hope, as the school is affectionately known, opened its doors in as a Catholic government-aided school known for its high performance to date, contributing towards the reputable image of the city of Francistown and the country at large.
What is significant about Mattis Bay is that it has produced, it's got such a track record and has produced a number of its graduates who are in very, very senior leadership positions. Apart from the engineers, lawyers, medical doctors, very senior lawyers who became judges, you can actually look around and find every profession in this country that has come through Mattis Bay.
The importance of togetherness and stakeholder engagement was highlighted during the celebration, with the school alumni be the primary stakeholders given that task.
There is a lot of greatness in coming together. We are at a stage where governments, not just Botswana government, governments don't have enough money to take care of their business. And most of the countries now, at university level, at primary, at secondary, they're bringing stakeholders. The alumni is a very important stakeholder of Mattis Bay.
It calls for us, individually, severally, as a group, to all put our minds together and contribute in our own little way to making Mattis Bay great, as we all aspire for it to be. Alumni are a vital asset to any school, including universities.
Mattis Bay School Head decried of shortage of classes as well as the influx of drugs in their institution.
We have a population of 1,958. That population translates to 54 classes. The facilities which we have for Mattis Bay is enough for only 42 classes. Influx of drugs in our institution. There are some irresponsible community members who use our students or their children to come and sell drugs in the institution. It's quite a disturbing factor, which I think the community, the government, everybody should fight against.
People should know that our schools then were organized, and it was not only the responsibility of the teachers, the students also had the responsibility.
The history of this school speaks volumes. A strong school culture whose belief is in prayer and discipline has always set it apart. Alumni donated 50 mattresses and a printer to the school in appreciation. Faithy DTT, BTV News, Francistown.
Well, that is the news. This hour to stay with us. Tato Khosimore on standby to take you through the world of sport.
Thank you, Olibile Samoka. It is an honor and privilege for me to welcome you to In Context Sports Update. Thank you for joining us. Let's take a look at our top story. In their efforts to select a team to represent Botswana in the Under-19 World Cup qualifiers, the Botswana Cricket Association hosted the Under-19 boys and girls trials at the Francistown Cricket Club grounds here recently. The trials are meant to give every young player a chance to impress the selectors and make the final national team. This was revealed by the BCA national team coach Stanley Timoni at the ongoing trials. Karabo Sebele reports.
Timoni says these trials are very important on the children's lives because should they qualify and be part of the World Cup, their lives would improve as they hoist the country's flag higher.
This is a ticket of changing life. So we are here to change life through cricket. So imagine getting an opportunity to fly to Uganda, to fly to Rwanda, Malawi, and then when you qualify, you go all over the world. I think to me it's a plus to the country.
He, however, went on to explain that even though the suspension of school sport was a stumbling block in preparing and keeping fit, they managed to improvise with what is available to continue with their training.
It has affected a lot of sports, but in terms of cricket, we didn't stop coaching kids from schools because we have got development coaches who are meant to coach schools. So they were trying their level best to make sure that they talk to the parents and get the green light from the parents, and we continued coaching our kids.
Furthermore, Timoni highlighted the qualities players should possess in order to qualify for the Under-19 World Cup qualifiers.
We have got 3 departments. We've got batting department, we've got bowling department, right? And we've got all-rounders. So we are looking at who can bat, who can bowl, who is a good all-rounder, and who has got the leadership qualities of being a captain.
Meanwhile, some of the participants shared their experiences and motivation from the trials.
I find it to be a really eye-opening experience, and it's a chance for young players like myself to develop our skills and become better cricket players.
The practice is very good. You practice on everything, so you're fielding, bowling, batting, and I practice on my bowling, so I think it's quite good. And my batting also, I batted a bit, so it's quite good for improvement and learning new things about the sport.
The Cricket Under-19 Boys and Girls World Cup qualifiers will be held in Malawi and Rwanda, respectively, in August this year. Karabo Sibili, BTV Sport, Francistown.
Botswana Cheerleading Federation President Nawaselwe says developing a healthy working relationship with international cheerleading bodies and clubs is key in developing the sport in the country, more especially as young people are already starting to take interest in the sport. Selwe highlighted that during a coaches training clinic run by cheerleading experts from Mexico, USA and South Africa. Aban Pitt and Michelle Sekopo with the details.
This training clinic is part of Botswana Cheerleading Federation along with International Cheer Union to raise the profile of the sport in Botswana. The 4-day clinic, which started on Thursday, was conducted by accredited international trainers in Ruben Rivera from USA, Georgie Del Rosa from Mexico, and South African Chantal van der Merwe.
They needed to start them from the basics, like arm placement. It is very, very important in cheerleading. They need to know how to place their hands and where to place them, because when you dance, your hands are supposed to be coordinated. They're supposed to be in one place. You don't just put them everywhere. So that's what makes everything stand out in any routine. So I wanted them to start them with the basics on arms placement and then go into techniques like body postures and all of that, and then also teaching them the pyramids, how to do pyramids basics. That's why we want them to take us.
Local coaches are ecstatic about the clinic as it will broaden their knowledge of the sport as they work to produce well-rounded athletes who can take cheerleading to great heights.
As coaches in Botswana, we've been doing the basics. So because they know more about cheerleading, we wanted them to come and teach us these skills, like the flips, like the basket toss, like all the skills, like the tumbling when somebody's flying up, how we should hold the kid, how we should teach them to land, how we should teach them different cheerleading skills. Because most of the time as coaches in Botswana, we are doing the pom-pom dances. It doesn't have all the pyramids. Pyramids are these ones. So we are very glad we have them here. We are expecting a lot. We are learning a lot. We want more kids to come and enjoy the sport.
The international trainers say there is still a lot to cover to get the sport to a more advanced level, but commended the local controlling body for organizing the exercise, as it will go a long way in developing cheerleading in Botswana.
So coming here, we knew that we were going to work a lot on the basics. That's because the Botswana Cheerleading Association let us know that ahead of time. And so the technique that we're using is we're basically, I'm taking everything that I've learned back at home and trying to implement it here just so that way the sport can grow. I know there is a lot of hunger for the sport to grow, but we need to make sure that the coaches are trained properly as well as the athletes in order to remain safe, but to also help it grow.
They're responding very well. They're excited. We can see they're so motivated at this point, and that's why I'm saying there's a hunger in them. They want to learn, and that's why the response we've been getting is so good.
From this clinic is to expand the knowledge over here in Botswana, and then for all the kids to have a very great time to see that there's a lot of drills, technique, progression, and new ways to learn.
The 4-day training, which started on Thursday, ended on Sunday in Gaborone, where several coaches will now be expected to impact what they learn here to other local coaches and athletes. Khomezo Sefako, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
That's it from In Context Sports Update. Thank you very much for your audience. In Context continues on the other side. Stay tuned and stay blessed.
The road to destiny is not paved with brick and tar, but with vision and determination that unveil over time who we truly are when we get there. The Ministry of Transport and Public Works has embarked on a journey of transformation to enhance the efficiency of transport system